screen with a virtual Seder, just like we did last year. And it'll be fun and it'll be awesome, but it won't be the same. Nevertheless, it takes preparation. And the preparation for Passover isn't just the preparation for the Seder, but it's also getting our homes ready, getting rid of the chametz, making sure that we don't buy so much more pasta and bread products to stuff in our freezers, but rather to get rid of some of that stuff and get ready for a new start. The first of Nisan starts on Saturday night, and then Passover after that. So preparedness is what Rosh HaChodeshim, the Shabbat HaChodesh, is all about. Now, what else have we been preparing for? A lot of us, if you went to one of the grocery stores over the last couple of days, you know that everyone was in that preparedness mood, right? They were all gathering together and buying just about every kind of food product that they could they could stuff into their carts because it's going to be the storm of the century. That's not a bad thing either, to say, you know what, we don't know what's going to happen. We actually thought it was going to be snowing already. But sometimes you prepare and you have to delay, and sometimes you prepare and it doesn't happen, and sometimes you prepare and you are so thankful you did. And so as we have prepared for the storm, whenever it comes, and I hope everyone enjoys a couple of days of just that beautiful Colorado snow, and you have a loved one who can shovel. But I hope you also begin that preparation for Passover, the preparation for the time of our redemption, the time of celebration of our freedom. And every Shabbat, we also have preparatory songs and meditations to get us ready into the mood for Shabbat. And so that is the Kabbalat Shabbat. The Kabbalat Shabbat has all these wonderful upbeat melodies to get us ready for the Sabbath. And so if you'll turn to page 130, Lechun Ranana, Dan's going to let us prepare for this wonderful Shabbat.
Lechun Ranana, Yai Lai 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 Lai, La Adonai, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Nahariya, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Litzur Yeshenu, Yai Lai 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 Lai. Let us sing out to God, the maker of all, pure and strong. Let all of creation from mountain to sea hear our song. Lechun Ranana, Yai Lai 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 Lai, La Adonai, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Nahariya, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Litzur Yeshenu, Yai Lai 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 Lai. For all of the wonders in all of God's light, we rejoice. So now let us listen with all of our hearts to hear God's voice. Lechun Ranana, Yai Lai 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 Lai, La Adonai, Lai 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 Lai, Nahariya, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Litzur Yeshenu, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Yai Lai 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 Lai.
That's perfect. Turn, if you would, page 136, Psalm 29. It's got this wonderful nigun and feeling, and it gets everyone ready for Shabbat. And giving Dan just a couple of seconds to get his breath. You ready?
Yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai Mizmor leDavid, havu l'Adonai b'neilim, havu l'Adonai kavod ba'oz, havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, hidachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod hirim, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, Adonai oz le'amo yiteh, Adonai yivarech et amo b'shalom, Adonai oz le'amo yiteh, Adonai yivarech et amo b'shalom, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
That's wonderful. Turn to the next page, 138. Lechad dodi likrat kala. Come, my beloved, let us greet the kala, greet the bride. Fill our hearts with that excitement and celebration of young love.
La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Erev Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Erev Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, yishmi'anu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet b'letila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Erev Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Erev Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor haberacha, berosh mekedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavcha tchila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Erev Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Erev Shabbat nekabela. Hitor edri, kiva orech kumi uri, uri shir daberi, kevod Adonai alach nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Erev Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Erev Shabbat nekabela.
Verse 9, if you're able to rise, please do. And we sing number 9, Bo'iva Shalom.
Bo'u v'shalom materet bala, gam besimcha uvetzola, merosh mekedem nesuka, sof ma'aseh b'machshavcha. Bo'u chala, lecha dodi likrat kala, Erev Shabbat nekabela. Shirat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 la.
That's wonderful. Now, when we're back in the Abrams Chapel, we're able to rise after we've had the Boiv Shalom. We're able to turn to each other and give each other hugs and kisses. I don't know when that'll happen again. I think we're going to have a long time before we get all the personal gestures, but at least we can wave and we can smile and we can let everyone know that we're here for them, and that's beautiful. So I love looking at the faces, and you can scroll around, and there's a chat as well if you want to share, and that'll be really important later on because we have a long list for the healing prayers, but I'm sure there's some other names that you wish us to list. We're here together, even though we're not here in the same room, but we can use our imagination, know that in our hearts and souls we are. Please turn to page 140. Psalm 92 is a psalm for Shabbat. Mizmor Shir LeYom HaShabbat.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Magalu, Masechaya, Me'odam kum machshevotecha. Magalu, Masechaya, Me'odam kum machshevotecha. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
The Chatzi Kaddish is on page 144.
Yitkadav v'yitkadash shemed rabba
Amen.
Be'alma divrach yirotev yamlich malchutei B'chayechon v'yomechon U'chaye deko beit Yisrael Bagala bagala Uvizmahan kariv Vimeru Amen Yehesh miraba mevarach le'alam ulal me'al maya yitbarach v'yishtabak v'yitba'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudusha barechu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata Tush bechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma vimeru amen.
Now, if we're able, rise, or you can sit wherever you are. Just face east a little bit for the Baruch Hu, the calls to worship, page 146. Shabbat HaChodesh, it is most certainly a time of change. We're preparing for a new month, preparing for a Passover, which will lead to a redemption from the soon enough from the pandemic that has been afflicting us for so long. So let us read together in English on 149. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or should we cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu lemadeta, otanu lemadeta. Al kin Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu u'kumenu nasiach b'chukecha v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha u'mitzvotecha le'olam ba'en ki hem chayinu be'orech yameinu u'bahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto le'olam va'ed.
Continue with V'ahavta to page 154.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אמת.
Amen. We are standing on the shores of history, page 157. Let us read together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise pauses and passes through the wilderness. There is no way to get from here to there except by holding hands and marching together. Michamocha. Jacob learned was that even when he struggled against something that seemed beyond his capability, he was never alone. He discovered that Anochi lo yadati, I didn't know, but God is in this place. God is with us wherever we are. We are here for each other, even though we may not be in the same room. And so the Michamocha reminds us, V'ne'amar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov, v'galo yad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. We're not alone. We are with each other. And so when we are about to go to sleep tonight and there's still no snow, and we're going to wake up and there's going to be whatever it is, it doesn't matter. We're going to wake up. It's going to be okay. Dan, what do you think? It's going to be all right. Rabbi Jordy says so too. And it's Hashki Venu on page 160.
Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom והעמידנו שומרינו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרינו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרינו לחיים.
We say together in English, give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch Ata Adonai haPores Sukkot Shalom Aleinu v'Kol Amo Yisrael v'Al Yerushalayim. Now, who's ready for one of Dan's upbeat Vishamrus? I am.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. לשמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
So now we're going to get ready for the Amidah, and as is normal, we will chant the Avot and Gevurot and Kiddushat together and have moments of silence, and then we'll come back out of that with prayers for healing. So if you're able, turn to page 164 and following for the Amidah.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, Bezocher Chaste Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, קדושים בכל יום יחלוך הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We come out of the silence with prayer for healing, the Mishaberach of Shalema. And it's a long list. And as long as this list is 2 pages, this is the one I can read publicly. There are those who say, please don't mention my loved one out loud, because they want to keep some privacy, and I respect that. But they know I'm praying for them privately, and I know you are too. So I see some other names that are going on, and we'll do our best after I read this list to share those names on the chat. The Misha Berach is on page 371, and tonight especially we think of Estelle Agris, Ryan Alpert, Mike Babbage, Stan and Sandra Bauer, Andy Bean, Emily Belstock, Samantha Bernstein, Paul Bonella, Steve Bolcom, Arlene and Sydney Brandt, Harold Cohen, Joseph Michael Connor, Cindy Coons, Frank and Aaron DeSena, Marty Einhorn, Tim Emery, Ron Epstein, Ellen Falk, Stan Farber, Jack Fisher, Bob Frischman, Kelly Gates, Morris Ginsburg, Wendy Glasser, Marlene Gottleman, Marcia and Bob Gold, Jeremy Gold, Ellen and Erica Gulnick, Lois Haas, Jerry Hart, Miriam Hoopman, Oliver Jacks, Stephen Kofler, Arnie Lash, Jerry Lassow, Lori Lavenhar, Fred and Judy Lazar, Audrey and Larry Lazar, Adrian Levy, Juanita Lorenco, Dina Marks, Anthony Morvant, Mary Ann May, Hugh Miles, Nevitt Montgomery, Diane Cushman Neal, Rafael Ben Ruvain Ufega, Bernie Rogoff, Alan Rosenberg, Donna Santisavan, Deanna Savilla, John Schuler, Daniel and Callista Schwartz, Raj Schwartz, Norm Sheldon, Joshua Singer, Carol Schnotty, Mark Sorkin, Sheldon Sperling, Ed Steinberg, Betty Stone, Alan Stryker, Barbara Susan, Hal Tabak, Jerry Thaler, Yona Victor, Marlene Walbaum, Valerie Wasserman, Dorothy Weddy, Jill Witchlands, Elaine Yaffe, Esther Jenkinson, and Aidan Zenon. We also want to think of Beverly Salaski and Lisa Teresa and Donna T. um, Gary and Helen, and I know there's others in your heart. But as Dan leads us in singing the Mishabera Kofuah Shlema, let's think of them in our mind's eye and let them know. I know it means a lot to them. I get to talk to them. It means a lot to them that people are caring and thinking of them. So let them know that you're thinking of them and praying for them.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say
We had also Nick Levine, his son Colin, and Catherine.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. A year ago today, we were scared. After weeks of news of this coronavirus on the other side of the world, conflicting information and little snippets of what we might maybe possibly know to be true. Lockdowns in China, cruise ships full of people stuck in the middle of the ocean, doctors faced with making horrible choices in hospitals in Italy, spring semester abroad students frantically trying to come home. It was now entering our world. We weren't really sure what to do. We stopped hugging and shaking hands, started elbow bumping and foot tapping. We washed our hands a lot. We tried not to touch our faces. March 13th, 2020 was the last Friday night service we held in our building before it all shut down. And so today, on March 12th, 2021, we mark a full year of this kind of living. Reflecting on a year this week, I found myself reading a sermon I wrote and delivered in the first early days of the pandemic. And a year later, it felt all the more true. A year ago, standing in the Abrams family chapel, streaming into your homes through an iPhone propped on the matchbox we used to light the Shabbat candles, we talked about Abraham Joshua Heschel. Heschel, one of the greatest thinkers of our people, born in 1907 Warsaw, believed that Judaism is not a religion of space, but rather of time. Where we are and our physical surroundings are far less important than how we use, honor, and sanctify our time. He acknowledged that though we often perceive time as the great enemy, it's not. Time is a reality. And Judaism is here to help us learn how to take that reality in, to learn how to value our time. For him, Shabbat was a sanctuary in time. Not a sanctuary as in a room to pray, but a sanctuary as in an opportunity to pause, to take a breath. He believed that God is not in spaces or places. God is in these moments of time. When Heschel felt rudderless, when he didn't know where he belonged, when he longed for earlier days that no longer existed, he leaned into time, to finding ways to make the time we have holy. A year ago, we talked about Abraham Joshua Heschel and suggested that we lean into time as opposed to place. And in rereading these year-old words this past week, I was struck by how incredibly successful I think we've been. Even though we couldn't be in person, we couldn't gather physically, we couldn't share space as we schmooze over an oneg, with herring, of course, after services, we made meaning of our time. We've come together as these little faces in squares, and we've learned together in Lunch and Learn and Parshat Shavua and Lifelong Jewish Learning. We've laughed together with comedians and bingo and trivia and Purim. We've celebrated light with Havdalah and Hanukkah. We've brought new life into the world with brisses and baby namings, and mourned losses with streamed funerals and Zoom shivas. We've prayed, we've connected, we've supported one another. We did not waste the last year of our lives. We have made meaning. When we couldn't connect in specific places, we connected through time. We did not waste the last year of our lives. We have made meaning. And if you're not seeing the meaning, maybe look a little harder. We've grown and learned and challenged and pushed ourselves. And it doesn't mean it's been all rainbows and sunshine and butterflies. Far from it. It's been hard and upsetting and unsettling. And there's been anger and tears. And 500,000 people have died, including many close to our own hearts. It has been terrible. And we've found beauty in this time. And it's been our privilege to share in that with you. Our tradition loves to mark time. And when we reach a special moment, whether we knew it was coming or not, we offer gratitude to God for allowing us to reach that time. We say, "Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who has kept us alive, who has sustained us and brought us to this moment." It's not all over. COVID is far from a distant memory. And we made it a year. Thank you, God, for allowing us to reach this moment. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen. We continue with the beginning of the conclusion of our service as we turn in our prayer books, page 586. You are welcome to rise or to not rise, whatever suits you this evening, page 586.
Alinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, latet gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu k'gei haratzod, velo samanu ki mishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, vego alenu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated if you are standing. Our thoughts turn to those who've departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. This Shabbat, we are in the Shiva, the 7 days of mourning for Shelley Frankel, the sister of Nancy and Howard Gottlieb, for our dear Doris Schwartzberg, the wife of Fred Schwartzberg, mother of Merle and David, Beth, Mark, John, Patty, grandmother of Charles, Frank, Yael, Alyssa, Josh, Rebecca, and Jacob. For Iris Tandler, the mother of John and Susan Tandler, grandmother of Ari and Talia. And for Jim Waller, the brother of Sharon and Lee Keene. We're in the Shilashim, the 30 days of mourning for Mitchell Carness, the brother-in-law of Beverly and the late Larry Sunshine, uncle of Liba, Brian, Roger, and Stuart. For Miriam Epstein, the friend of Elaine Yaffe. For Dorothea Flax, the mother of Barbara and Richard Fink. For Jerry Kitchen, the sister of Nancy and Steve Letman. We're marking the yahrzeits, the anniversaries of the passings of Isidore Babich, Rosa Baltzer, Sally Berman, Manny Brooks, Esther Chire, Altha Cohn, Eleanor Deber, Faina Frankel, Francis Freed, Herman Greenberg, Meyer Haas, Ruth Stein Heyman, Harry Kadish, Ethel Karp, Samuel M. Curbins, Sam Naster, Jerry Landy, Julia Markman, Ethel Muir, Rose Menkes, Robert Melziner, Sr., Samuel William Oringer, Milton Patt, Ida Rhines, Gabriel Rosenberg, Clifford Schwartz, Nathan Schwartzberg, Irving Shepard, Gertrude Siegel, Vivian Stapler, Paul Sugarman, Dave Tone, Bessie Ullman, Gert Weiner, Ada Wolf, and Dorothea Zebrowitz. We invite you to rise, if you would like, for the Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chiyotei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe Shmei Rabba Mevarach Leolam Almei Almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitale V'yitalal Shmei Dekudesha Brichu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tush Bechata V'nechemata Da'amiran Me'alma V'imru Amen Yehe Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We say zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. So we will be back here on Zoom and Facebook and YouTube, providing that technology goes the way we'd like it to. We're always working on it. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., back like this, we're reading Torah, the whole shindig, rain or snow or shine or whatever ends up happening. 3 feet or 3 inches. I don't know. Who knows what's coming? So we'll be back here on Zoom for services in the morning. And then again, we'll have Havdalah 7 p.m. in the evening. Lots of programming coming up, including Zoomathon Part 2, which is April 16th weekend. Sponsorships are up on the website. They've started to come in, so we appreciate that support. And more is coming with the program calendar. We are working hard on it, and we are really excited about some of the things that we're slotting in there, trying to bring some new cool things. So stay tuned for more information. It's coming. Other things we're missing. Lisa Thorner, you're here and you can speak.
Lifelong Jewish Learning next Wednesday night. David Sanders is going to talk about reincarnation. Rabbi Ryan's, I think, Bibles and Beers Thursday night.
We also have on Tuesday the Parshat Shavua and Lunch and Learn. But I got to give a shout out to Ruth, who says there's Jewish war veterans on Sunday. So they're going to be there. Also, God willing, next Friday and next Saturday, we'll be in the Erev Chapel or the Zwarin Sanctuary, depending on how many people show up. But you can't just show up. You got to do the registration. So do that. We'll still have to keep masks on and keep some distance because not everyone is vaccinated. And yet we're getting closer and closer. So I look forward to seeing at least some of you next Friday and Saturday. And I know Rabbi Kalman and Danielis, we just get that energy from you guys. So thank you for coming on the screen, and thank you those who will be joining us next Shabbos.
We also have Elevate Meditation and Nigun Circle at 7:30 on Wednesday as well. So check that out. Come get your spirit all nice and squeaky clean. So should we close with the Oseh Shalom? Let's do it. Oseh Shalom b'mroma, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Shalom b'mroma, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. Hey ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you, Lisa.
Shabbat Shalom.